Each consists of 6 pieces of 1/8 inch material. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. In this case we're using lightweight Western red cedar. This is one set. This is another set, and I have 5 of them secured to the table with masking tape. I like to do this when I'm applying my glue. It makes it a little quicker to apply glue and a little neater. And I'm using Type Bond 2 yellow carpenter's glue for this. I'm going to apply glue to 5 of the laminates. And of course the 6th one doesn't need glue. Now I can use a brush to spread this out, or you can use your finger. This is a water-based glue, so you don't have to worry about anything. It's not like epoxy. You can get nice and dirty, have fun. Get it spread out on all the surfaces really well. And I'll get that little area underneath the tape here. This end will be cut off eventually, so I don't need glue there. Okay. Now I'm just going to stack these together. And put number 6 on top. I'm going to run a little bit of masking tape around the one end, just to control those ends, keep the strips nice and aligned when we put them on the end form. There's a set of inside stems that have all the glue applied, and we're going to go next door and apply that to the form, which is also known as the end form of the boat. Now I'm securing the inside stem to the end form with hot glue. I'm going to place hot glue in about 3 different spots underneath the stem. I'll let that cool, and then I'm going to tack weld to the side of the stem, to the side of the end form, about every 6 inches on both sides. And that hot glue will hold that end form or the inside stem in position well enough that we won't have to use screws or anything else to hold it in place. And yet when it comes time to remove the end form, we'll be able to pop that inside stem right off of that end form. It'll come out without a problem. Now I need to establish the center line of this inside stem. The inside stem is at least 3/4 of an inch wide. The end form is only 1/2 inch wide. I need to establish the center line down the outside of this inside stem so that I have a line to which I can block plane and introduce a bevel to the side of the inside stem. Well, first of all, I want to establish the center line. So here we go. I've got a little jig here that I made that has one side, one edge of this sits proud of this face by 1/4 of an inch, which is actually 1/2 the thickness of the end form. If I run this face along the side of the end form and hold my pen 1/4 of an inch away from this space with this spacer, and I'll be able to establish the exact center line of this end form along this face of the inside stem. Here's another view showing how this little jig works. You can see how easily we can now establish the center line. Okay, we've established the center line of our end form on the outside laminate of our inside stem. The next step is to bevel this inside stem so that this face will be at the correct angle to receive our stripping. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to use my block plane. And I'm only going to block plane about 6 inches at a time because the bevel that we're going to introduce here is going to actually change ever so slightly as we move on up the stem. So I will bevel about 6 inches, and then I will strip the boat for about 6 inches. Then I will bevel for another 6 inches, and then strip the boat for 6 inches. I want to leave approximately 1/8 of an inch flat on this face. I'm going to use this center line as my gauge. So if I leave anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 here, we'll be fine. The hot glue that we use to secure the inside stem to the end form is working great here. It's not slipping at all. You want to use a sharp block plane for sure. Now I'm approaching my center line mark, so I want to make sure I stay away from that by about 1/8 of an inch. Okay. down approximately 6 inches on this side of the stem. And now I'll walk around to the other side and block plane it as well. Okay, that's about as far as I want to go at this point. The next step is to get some stripping and just run a test strip along the outside of the boat and see how it fits against our face here. From eyeballing this, I would suggest, or I'm thinking, that we're probably going to have to introduce a little bit steeper angle in order for that strip to fit correctly. Okay, I've beveled my inside stem to where it looks pretty nice. I lay my first strip up against it, and it fits nice and flush to that bevel that I just introduced. And this is a test strip, and I will work my way up about 6 more inches and do the same thing with another test strip until I've beveled my entire inside stem. Here's a close-up shot of my test strip showing how it sits nice and flush to the face of my inside stem. You'll note that I've left about a 1/8 inch flat. Okay, this is a shot of the bow of the kayak. We've stripped up approximately 6 inches on both sides, and now I'm going to trim the stripping just a little bit proud of the inside stem, just to get it out of the way and show you what it looks like after it's been cut. I'm just going to use the Japanese pull saw to do this. Okay, that's one side. Okay, the stripping to this point now has been cut just proud of the inside stem.